It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Now, let's talk about the body. And I think one of the body's most major weight-bearing structures is undoubtedly the ankle. It affects our stability to perform activities, even just walking, running, jumping, playing sport. Yes, definitely. Ankle stability is a key component in distributing body weight evenly. And then, of course, balance, enabling you to remain upright. And when ankle injuries hit, it's important to know how to manage and treat them to prevent further injury. And we welcome back our good friend, physiotherapist for the Western Cape Rugby. It's Wayne Hector, who's going to be unpacking this topic and doing a little bit of a demo for us again. Wayne, always good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
This is a big one. I actually, many moons ago, and we were laughing about playing social sport, but playing football, I managed to tear ligaments in my ankle and do some serious damage, and it was debilitating. It is a serious thing. So what are the most common ankle injuries and the main causes? Yeah, I know obviously rugby is your focus, but where do people injure their ankles most predominantly?
Again, you know, the ankle joint's a major weight-bearing joint. It's a relatively small joint compared to a knee or hip. And there's a lot of force that gets applied there. So it's the most commonly injured joint in the body. And yeah, you know, so from rolling your ankle, stepping on an uneven surface, landing incorrectly from a line-out as an example, being tackled, you know, so there's a lot of mechanisms that can injure an ankle.
I mean, you can roll your ankle taking a step.
Absolutely.
It's really easy to do. People who are participating in sport where there is a danger, what advice do you have for them to protect their ankles? Because obviously prevention far better than the cure.
So if there is a niggle with your ankle, please have it assessed properly. Because there's no one fix for all ankle injuries. So we need to diagnose it properly. Once it's diagnosed, we can then put a plan in place. Once you're ready to get back into the park, strapping your ankle or providing some form of specific support to that joint is definitely advisable. But make sure that it's properly diagnosed, and then we can put a specific plan in place.
When it comes to strapping, as you've mentioned, what's your approach? What are you trying to achieve with the straps, and how are they effective?
So strapping an ankle, we obviously mold the strapping specifically to the injury that we're dealing with, as well as to the anatomy of the person. People have different size ankles, different shapes, etc. One of the main reasons why we strap is to enhance the sense of proprioception of that joint, and that's literally your sense of balance. And by improving that, you're helping to support that ankle joint to function.
Seeing is believing. One of our most valued team members here, Mike, injured his ankle yesterday, funny enough, in the gym. So he is ready to be strapped and needs a little bit of assistance. So we go and help him out.
Hi, Mike.
Incidentally, he's single, okay, if anyone's interested out there. Mike, you're an active guy. You're an athlete. You played a lot of hockey, so I would assume that you've put your joints under a bit of strain with that kind of training. But what happened now? Why do you need a bit of assistance this morning?
So yesterday, I was actually doing rehab for my left ankle, which I injured a while back in hockey. And I got off the treadmill awkwardly, rolled over it, and crumpled onto the floor, and now it's sore. So.
And it was quite embarrassing, I would imagine.
It wasn't. I've got a caring team that looks after me. So.
Well, buddy, you've got one of the best in the business now who is going to strap you up. But first, I understand that we need a bit of an assessment. So what do you need to know from Mike before you start strapping?
Obviously, you mentioned how it happened. Which way did your foot go? Did it
kind of
roll
went that
inwards?
way, yeah.
So chances are that he's damaged his lateral ligaments.
Okay.
There's not much swelling here, which is really good news, considering that it happened yesterday. But we'll strap you just to give you that extra bit of support for today. I want you to just keep your foot at 90 degrees. Okay, that's your job for the time that I'm strapping you. I'm going to use a 50mm EAB, which is a stretchy type of tape. All right, just as an anchor. Let's come down a little bit more. Here we go.
I look forward to seeing your hairless ring around your shin when you take that off.
All right, and then we're going to be strapping with LEUKO P, which is a really high-quality, rigid tape. There's no stretch in it at all.
And why is that important to have that rigidity?
For the mechanical support, you know, more than anything else. All right, so what we're doing here is we're applying a stirrup, and we're going to do, with his size foot, probably about 3 stirrups. And when you apply these stirrups, or when you apply rigid tape in general, never apply it under any tension. You're just literally laying it down on the skin, because if you apply rigid tape under tension, once he bears weight on that foot, it's really going to start being very uncomfortable.
It hurts, yeah.
All right, we then go on to, those are the 3 stirrups that we have applied. Obviously, we're trying to support the lateral side of the ankle, so we're going to do a figure of 6 now. Coming across the front of the joint, finishing off on the inside there. And again, overlapping by about half on each strip. When applying this figure of 6, just be very careful not to go too tight on the base of the 5th metatarsal, because once you put weight on your foot once again, the foot needs space to splay
out, yeah.
And if you don't allow that, it will become very uncomfortable.
It's like real biomechanics, this, eh?
Absolutely.
Love it. So I understand now in your previous advice the idea of, yes, you can do this yourself, but you need a professional to show you how it's done so you understand the motivation.
Absolutely.
So I think it's key. If you have a niggle, an injury that you know could lead to something worse, see a professional, get them to assess it properly with you, have a plan, and then, hey, Mike, I reckon with the right knowledge you could do this yourself.
I was about to say I've strapped my ankle a lot of times, and this is by far the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
He's pretty well practiced.
Yeah, so what I've just done there is I've done what's called a Heloc, which is basically holding onto the heel and stabilizing that, because without a Heloc, ankle strapping is pretty useless.
Okay.
So it's pretty important to do that, and I've done it on both sides of the heel. All right, so that's your first layer of ankle strapping. In rugby, my backline players prefer just having that because their boots are relatively small. But if you want a bit more of support, we'll then close it off with another heel lock with the 75mm EAB, which will just give him that extra bit of support.
Yeah, and confidence. I think for an athlete especially, you want to know that you're all right.
Absolutely.
And that you can put the pressure, that you can, in those key moments, operate.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and do that. Keep the foot at 90 once again.
I know you say, Mike, your hockey days are behind you, but I don't know, with this strapping, my friend...
How long does this last for? Can I keep this on for about 4 years? Or?
No. So this type of strapping you need to take off on the same day.
Okay.
The skin needs time to breathe and recover. If you leave this on too long, the skin will become quite irritated and might start breaking down. So definitely take it off on the same day. Once your workout's done, my advice is when you're still all hot and sweaty, take it off then. Don't wait till you get home, because then the glues cool down and then it's really sticky.
And then that's when you're gonna have an interesting hair profile on your leg.
Free wax.
Top draw, absolutely brilliant. Mike, I hope that's gonna help you throughout the rest of your day.
Thank you for this.
It's a pleasure.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Please don't be silly and fall off any equipment later today. Wayne, as always, awesome. Picked up some real gems there, and I'm understanding more and more the power of preventative medicine in this case. The fact that you can treat these injuries or prevent the injury from, progressing from a niggle, absolutely amazing. And I can understand how that will help not just pro sportsmen, but us weekend warriors like me as well. Ankle strapping plays an important role in the prevention of ankle sprains. It can make a massive difference, reducing the chance of re-injury by almost 2/3, in fact. And if you'd like to get your hands, wrists or ankles on these products, there's some exciting news. You can now buy ActiMove and LEUKO Sport strapping from Takealot. And listen up, it's the final chance for you as 2 lucky winners, hopefully, to win a LEUKO Sport hamper to the value of 600 Rand each. You've got to simply head over to their Facebook page or Instagram page, like it, follow and comment on the competition post by sharing how LEUKO Sport strapping has helped you manage your everyday activities. And don't forget to include that all-important hashtag, #StrappingForChampions. This week's competition closes at 9 a.m. on Friday, the 3rd of December. You can find all those terms and conditions that apply linked to the competition post. Good luck.